win 96-84. Game 2 versus Brooklyn Nets at the Wells Fargo. If you're tuning in, this is the first official episode of Don't Shoot the Messenger. In the near future, I hope we can get well acquainted and hopefully you follow along. But let's get right into the Sixers. They win. It wasn't a good game, in my opinion. Energy was low, high. It was everywhere in between. A lot of careless turnovers. But this was to be expected. This is the second game of the NBA playoffs. And everybody that's there, I know, albeit Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving kind of made this team into what it was to get into the playoffs. But either way, they're in the playoffs, and nobody's going to try to get smacked twice. So great, I guess you could say, defensive changes by Jacque Vaughn. He didn't allow Joel Embiid to catch the ball in the block as much. Doc was forced to put Joel Embiid more at the free throw line, which you can't really double, especially with the Sixers. We got Tobias in the corner, got PJ in the corner, DeAnthony Melton. Everybody can shoot threes now. We don't got Ben Simmons, so we can shoot a little bit more, which made it Joel Embiid's night to showcase that he was more of a Nikola Jokic and doing multiple things on the floor. I didn't like his effort, to be quite honest with you, when he started getting double teamed. I mean, he knows at this point that he's going to get double teamed every now and then, or pretty much every time now, because he's an MVP. In my opinion, he is the MVP. This is a Philadelphia guy you're talking to, so this is definitely a not just shower Joel Embiid with love, but it's well deserved. But he's got to understand at this point in his career, he's going to be double teamed every time. And there's a little bit of emotional issues with him, not as in like he's a drama queen, but like when he gets double teamed and he doesn't like that, like he has any choice because he's that good, it seems like it affects the rest of his game. And I think he has to get to the point of understanding 20 points like he scored last night was his 30 points, along with 18 boards and 7 assists and 3 blocks. Like, he had a Nikola Jokic game that only he could have. Like, Nikola Jokic has his 40, 10, and 10, but he ain't doing it with 3 blocks in the first quarter, being a presence and switching on people at the perimeter. Like, if I even look at my laptop right now, if you look, Joel Embiid played 37 minutes. He only had 11 points, or 11 field goals, 11 field goals. That's not good. Joel be scoring, having more of the 20, 23 field goal attempts, but he also dropped 20. He didn't make a 3, which is fine. We have others to do that. He dropped 19 boards, 7 assists, 1 steal, and 3 blocks. Like, that's the type of effort we're going to need from him down the line. And I think the issue that I have as a fan is when you hear the news, the broadcasters go, oh, well, Joel Embiid didn't have 28, 35, whatever the point differential is, he didn't dominate. He dominated every aspect of the game the way Jokic was, but nobody going to give him the credit. I think that's more of a mental thing on Joel that he's got to learn to rise and overcome from that. But at the same time, I think that he had an excellent game. Tyrese Maxey, another guy last night. Open 3 after open 3 after open 3 after open 3. He was making them, and he's making them pay. And James Harden, I'm not liking a little bit, and I don't want to gripe on, James Harden a lot, but he's not really converting the 3 points that we want him to do, that we brought him here to do. James Harden seems like there's something going on. There's something going on there. And I can't put my finger on it. I don't know what it is. But Tyrese Maxey, Tobias, from these first 2 games, you can't sit here as a fan and lie to me and say that those 2 individuals, especially Tobias, that we've said that, oh, he ain't going to be that guy, he's took too much money, are compensating for James Harden, rather, not scoring the ball that we brought him here in Philadelphia to do. And that's a problem, because this is the guy that wants a max contract after the season. I know, let's not get too far ahead of ourselves, but at the same time, he wants a max contract. but he's not performing at the level we need him to score. And everybody's going to be like, yeah, well, he had 7 threes in the first game. He had this and that. He had this. That's great. But Tobias Harris has consistently over these last 2 games proven, at least in the playoffs right now, that he is willing to do more than just score. Excuse me. James Harden is looking to pass the ball. He's looking to just do all these cross-ups. That's great. And I honestly think that he's performing very well with this all-athletic bench lineup. Jalen McDaniels, all those guys. He's doing great. Paul Reeds of the world. But there's just something missing with James Harden scoring-wise. And people are like, oh, he's getting older. He's not getting the foul calls. That's great. I don't care about the foul calls. We've had times where James has had wide-open threes and he's not making them. And people look, I was a division athlete in college. I played pro. I would know about injuries and how they affect people. A lot of you don't understand that, and you go off of what you hear. I'm telling you, athletes do not make excuses about injuries and how that takes away from their game. You're going to go in, you're going to give the best shit you got. And James, I feel like, is lacking on the offensive end, and it has nothing to do with injuries. Excuse me. When he had those 7 threes, was anybody saying that his injury didn't hurt him that bad? His injury didn't hurt him that bad in the first game that he was jacking up threes from half court and getting in the rhythm. What's up with that? He's done this a couple times in the regular season too, and we just haven't held him accountable. And if we have, it's been, all right, it's James Harden. He'll be good. Don't worry about it. And I don't really think that's a good way to go about it, because this is the guy that we're going to have to sit here and go, is he going to walk for nothing? Or are we going to give him a max sign and trade? Or are we going to sit here and try to do something? But this has to get figured out. This is the first series, and he's already shown that his offensive game on a lesser Brooklyn Nets team is not translating. We got Tobias Harris. Like I said, he dropped 20 points last night and 12 boards. He started out the game with the first 3 points with an and one. In the regular season, we weren't seeing him run up the court, cut back door, do all these things. He's showing that he wants it. And, I think he's overpaid. He bet on himself. I can't complain with that. He got his money that he wanted. But at the same time, Tobias has proven in these 2 games, I'm going to catch the ball. I'm going to shoot the ball. I'm going to do the best I can. I'm going to get boards. I'm going to play position defense. I'm going to try to do something. I'm not going to just sit here and allow myself to miss 2 threes and walk up and down the court like we've seen him do in the regular season. And that's amazing. But when you have one player that does that, you got to have the whole entire team come together. You can't have Joel drop 30, James has an off night every other night, Tyrese drops 36, because let's be honest, Tyrese Maxey is not going to be able to drop 42 points like James Harden's supposed to be able to do every night. He's not there yet. That doesn't mean he can't get there, but he's not there yet. And James Harden has no excuse. He's literally got the best center of his generation and a top, right there center, and probably the best teammate he's had his whole career. Never played with a big. Think about all the players that are all-time great shooters that never played with a big. Him, Damian, Steph Curry. I know they won championships with Kevin Durant, but he has that now. And now it's on him. It's not on Joel. Joel has literally done what he's supposed to. James Harden better come out game 3 in Brooklyn and take over. He has no excuse. He needs to take over game 3. And if he doesn't, I'm going to be very disappointed, because the first game was good, 7 threes, that's good. But at the same time, you can't have a horrendous drop-off game 2. Because they weren't, let's be honest, let's shoot the, don't shoot the messenger, as the podcast is called. Let's not shoot the messenger here. They wasn't double-teaming him. They were double-teaming Joel, and they were leaving Maxey open. Tobias was going to go get his shot, as he should. He's got Spencer Dinwiddie, who says he's LeBron James 2.0 but can't hit a bucket. Okay, that's cool. Do what you got to do, bro. At the same time, ain't nobody double-teaming James. So what's the problem? Oh, Ben. Don't get all mad at him. It's the Brooklyn Nets. Ain't nobody doubled him. But what's the problem? Getting his his shot blocked by Nick Claxton, whatever the hell his name is, 18 freaking times. What the heck? What's that about? Tyrese Maxey has no issue. He's hitting the same shots James Harden got. What's the problem? And before all you novice people out there go, well, he's a facilitator. He's the point guard. We got to stop. And I'm going to put something out there that a lot of these people who talk about sports don't tell you. You got to stop measuring by the person who's no longer on this team no more. And I feel like we're doing this with Philly. As long as Tyrese, as long as James Harden, as long as they shoot threes that Ben Simmons wouldn't take, we're okay with it. You can't live by that metric. Ben Simmons ain't even on the bench for his team that we traded him to watch his new teammates in support for the playoffs. That's not a grown man. That's a boy. So now we're going to sit there and hold James Harden to grown man standards that we held Ben Simmons to when he's showing boy tendencies. James Harden ain't no boy. He a grown man. Okay? So let's stop holding him to little boy tendencies and, criteria of Ben Simmons's and saying, oh, if he does everything opposite of Ben Simmons that he wouldn't do, that means he's doing fine. Because newsflash, like I said, James Harden did not get double teamed like Joel. And yet he's having terrible offensive nights. It's just not the first time either. He's played against good competition in the regular season and has showed that as well. Tyrese Maxey, he did a great job last night. Great job last night. His off-ball three-point shooting, we need that. Now we need to see that in Boston. That's a very good step. He carried James Harden and his regular point average to compensate, which should not happen. You got third-year player in the league compensating for an all-time great scorer. That can't happen. It can't. So, the fact that he said, okay, let me go get mine because things ain't working out the right way, that's called a grown man. Ben Simmons underneath the rim couldn't do nothing that he was supposed to do. That's called a boy. You got to understand the criteria. That's a grown man going, I might be third year in the league, but we about to lose this game if something don't happen. That's a grown man. We need to see that, though, as we continue to go down these playoffs. He did really good in transition. I think his transition game is too reckless at times, though. I know it's all energy output and, he's going up in there and he's throwing the ball at the rim and, he's going at the rim and just throwing the ball in there and trying to do the best he can. That's great. But when we're losing 58 to 51 and it's starting to become that 2-minute drill, like they say in football, and they're starting to throw dink and dime passes and they're getting out in transition and we need a quick bucket, now's not the time to go score a quick bucket. We got to slow the tempo down. We got to get to the rim, and we got to get the foul line, and we got to neutralize this fast break scoring that we're doing. You don't match speed with speed. Speed kills for a reason. That's why you see Russell Westbrooks of the world, who got all-time great speed, athleticism, doing all these weird things in midair, and it's just not working out. He's not Russell Westbrook. Let's not get that twisted. But Tyrese, I feel like, needs better decision-making in the open floor, and I think that he has shown that, at least in the second game. He's willing to not always settle at the rim, and he's knowing that I might have to pull up for a 2. I might have to hit a quick 3 off the dribble. That's great. Now, there's another person I want to talk about that I feel like we owe an apology to, at least for right now, and that's P.J. Tucker. P.J. Tucker has demonstrated why teams get him in the playoffs. And this is the guy that we've been looking for, that it's kind of like you got to wait all year to see him blossom. I know it's kind of weird, but that's the way it is, and you can't be mad about that. The energy that I see from him, about, if you've seen the article, pretty sure you can find on NBC Philly or wherever, saying that he cussed out Paul Reed to get his butt moving. And then you see Paul Reed come out second game, windmill clutches, getting boards, throwing people on the floor. I'm like, what the f*** is this? That's what we want. That's exactly what we're looking for. And to see P.J. Tucker hit open threes that he didn't in the regular season, to see him get rebounds, to see him hold people accountable in the locker room, it's very Jimmy Butler-esque. It's not the same, let's be honest, it's not the same, but we needed that. And I think right now in these first two games, I think more or less the first away game against Brooklyn at the Barclays Center is going to, because we'll be in hostile territory. You got to remember that. I think PJ Tucker's grit will be able to be on full display at the first game at the Barclays Center, and I'm kind of excited for that. Now let's get to the guy that we don't want to talk about, Doc Rivers. Doc, I got to give him credit. You know, he won a grit and grind game last night, but there's some things that are concerning me with Doc. Why is Paul Reed now just playing? Paul Reed been like this the whole time. You just now put him in the game. Well, what's the problem? This lineup where we got Paul Reed, we got a bunch of fours, Niang. Niang shouldn't even look. Look, that game that we were first playing and we were hitting 20 plus threes, that's great. That's great. But let's be honest. George Niang should not be running out there. He calls himself the minivan not because he's the Flash, okay? And you sitting out here putting a big fat white dude out there trying to cover a bunch of strong ass black dudes, and you're like, well, this is gonna work out. No, it's not. I don't know what you. Come on now, come on now, don't be doing this. He can shoot 40%, in the regular season, but like, what are we doing, Doc? Jalen McDaniels is I think going to be a great raw talent if we keep him or wherever he lands next year. But I really need to see the defensive masterclass out of the second unit, and I don't think I'm seeing it right now. And Doc Rivers with his 2008, I won a championship mentality is still not showing me what he did. I'm not seeing a lot of what he says that he was bringing to the table as a coach. Now, granted, we won both games, but this is Brooklyn. And for all you Philly fans out there, you know damn well if we were to play the Boston Celtics and we played the way we did last night, we would end up being broken in half by the end of that second quarter. So let's take that game two, yesterday's game two, with a grain of salt, because you know dang well it would not work. And I just need to see, like, Tobias Harris, like I stated earlier, was the first person who touched the ball and scored. I say this. Let's go start the game with Tobias Harris with the ball. Let's get some off-ball movement and throw something else out there. Tobias proved in the first two games he's going to go get his points. Let's feature him game 3 and let's see what happens. Let's run pick and roll with him and Joel Embiid at the 4 and the 5, knowing that Spencer Dinwiddie is guarding Tobias Harris and he's undersized. Because now you switch and guess who's on Joel Embiid? Dinwiddie. You got Claxton you got Claxton in there, or whatever the heck his name is. You got Claxton on Harris, mismatch, and you got Spencer Dinwiddie on Joel Embiid. Let's run that pick and roll combo. There is no double teaming because the guy that would be double teaming is now at the 3-point line. So what are we going to do now? Dump it to Embiid, quick foul and one. I don't know. It's something to try. Tobias has proven in these two games that he's going out for blood. I don't know what he's doing, but he's already proven that he's ready to. He at least wants to go get his points and show that he can do other things than just be a spot up shooter, which is what we need. And I don't see why not we don't try that. It seems like a good idea. But I'm not the coach. I don't make the ideas. Drop your comment below and, what do you think about that? Having Tobias and Joel run two-man game, knowing that Claxton would be switching on Harris and Dinwiddie on Embiid. Because then you would have to pull somebody else off and put him on Tyrese Maxey. He's faster than everybody. Who's going to cover him? Royce freaking O'Neal? Okay. You tell me how that goes. Like I said, drop a comment below. Tell me what you think. But to wrap this up, I think that overall, game 2 was expected. Come out, they're going to throw their best punch at you, knowing that you dominated them. Joel Embiid got clapped, and he got dunked on by, Cam Johnson, but he came back and stuffed the crap out of him 2 times, and kind of erased that and said, no, get that crap out of here. But at the same token, I think that there are questionable decisions that need to be looked at in the film room. Tyrese Maxey, I want to see him come out aggressive game 3, and I want to see Joel Embiid be okay with scoring 20 points. But I think that we need to get over this. If he's not scoring 30, then the season's over. The season's over. We're in the playoffs. If 22 points gets us a plus 35 Joel Embiid in the box score and win by 15, I'm taking 22 and 10 from Joel Embiid every day of the week. I really do believe this MVP thing with Joel Embiid has psychologically gotten us Philly fans and fans of just Joel Embiid outside of Philadelphia to this point that he needs to do X, Y, and Z with certain statistics every game for it to make sense. And I really hope when he wins this MVP, that stigma, if he didn't score this or that, it didn't work, because it's starting to get annoying. He had 20 points, 19 boards, 7 blocks, or 7 assists, excuse me, a steal and 3 blocks. That's a two-way MVP Defensive Player of the Year who didn't even drop 30 and won the game single-handedly with his box score. That's a Nikola Jokic thing that does not get talked about with Embiid. That shows more growth and maturity in him as a player than going, I need to just throw up and shot chuck and see how many we get going in. But yeah, like I said, I'm excited to see Game 3 at the Barclays Center. Drop your comment below about what you think we should do with Tobias Harris and Joel Embiid running pick and roll, or what defensive changes you would see, or what offensive changes you would want to see. And I will try to do another video for the next game coming up, so bear with me. I'm getting back into trying to do a video a week. So like I said, thank you for the support. Stay tuned for the next video, and until next time, peace.